What is up, guys? Rick Hackis here, and I want to give you my first impressions of the new DLC character for Borderlands 2, Krieg the Psycho. So I've been playing it for most of the day, probably sunk about 4 more hours into this guy, and I know that's not like, I could have done more, I guess, but I will say right off the bat that I am not enjoying this playthrough as much as others, and that is not due to the character, it's simply due to the fact that I have played the campaign so many times. It's just I'm getting sick of the main Borderlands campaign, and yeah, that's something to consider. If you've played all the other characters and you have several guys in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you may want to hold back and wait for this DLC maybe to be on sale, because remember, this isn't included with the season pass. You just got to buy this by yourself. So if you're kind of Borderlands'd out, I mean, this DLC isn't going anywhere. You can totally wait until it goes on sale. The character as itself, it's very, very similar to Brick from Borderlands 1, where your special ability is you get let go of your weapons, you go into the rage mode, and you melee people. And it's basically Brick and this guy are pretty much the same in the kind of basic structure of the character. This guy is a lot more, it seems a lot cooler. He has a lot more kind of special, weird abilities, like lighting yourself on fire gives you a bunch of bonuses. I actually didn't choose that skill tree. I chose the Bloodlust skill tree, where you build stacks when you hurt or kill people, and those stacks can do everything from increase your magazine size to increase the length of your Buzz Axe Rampage. And that's really important, because you'll find if you start this character that right away the Buzz Axe Rampage doesn't last very long at all, and so anything to increase that is much needed. And just going over the Buzz Axe Rampage, it is definitely really satisfying and really effective to go into Buzz Axe Rampage. I have never killed, when I started off with this guy, the beginning bosses like Midgemong and Boom Boom and Captain Flint, I have never ever killed them faster than with this guy. With this guy, you just go into the Buzz Axe Rampage and beat them to death, and they are dead so quickly. Also against normal guys, it just massacres them. But yeah, the downside is that it's really, really short, that you're in this rampage, and then also, oh my goodness, the cooldown is so bad. The thing about the cooldown, though, is that it takes a really long time, but it speeds up when you're taking damage. So it's kind of like, and I kind of don't want to get into, I'm going to mention the main problem I have with this character in a bit, but anyway, about the taking damage thing, I don't know. It just says it takes damage to reduce cooldown. I don't know if that's each time you get hit, it reduces cooldown, or the overall damage dealt to you reduces cooldown. But definitely, where it comes into play mostly is when you get caught off guard. Like suddenly there's how guys will somehow come up behind you, you won't see them, and they'll do a lot of damage to you. Basically in scenarios like that, it'll just kind of be like, oh, suddenly your power is recharged, which can get you out of that scenario pretty well. The problem with it, though, is that when you go into Buzz Axe Rampage, you don't gain any initial health. You just go into it, and how you gain health is every time you kill a guy, your health completely refills. So the problem with that is that you're constantly trying to get yourself damaged, and then when you go into Buzz Axe Rampage, it can suck because you go into the rampage, but then because you were trying to get yourself damaged, you don't go into the rampage full health and full shields, and so you get killed on your way charging towards the nearest guy, and it just sucks so bad when that happens, because your rampage goes away. And now I think there's some skills to change that, and there's definitely some skills to do with when you go down. You have special abilities, but early on, these are just the problems that I have. Also, my main concern, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, with this character is that it is extremely effective against normal guys. Even normal guys, normal bosses, ultimate, not ultimate badasses, but badasses, you just take them all down pretty darn quickly. The problem is I don't know how this guy is going to be Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Because, when you get to level 50, well, it used to be level 50, and I guess if you haven't bought the DLC, then it's still level 50, but level 50, level 61, it's like a whole new metagame of Borderlands 2. Like, Borderlands 2 becomes completely different. It's not about killing guys anymore. It's about farming bosses and raid bosses and stuff. And I don't know how a guy that its skill power is to run up and melee, how effective that would be fighting a guy like Pyro Pete, where, I mean, it's all about the Sandhawk. Like, I don't know how this guy would come into play really that much, because I mean, all the other characters, even with the Mechromancer, I remember, like, when my Mechromancer's level, I don't know, 40 something right now, and I remember just kind of looking over the skill trees and thinking, wow, like, this would be really good for keeping the B shield up. This would be really good for, like, I can kind of see the potential when you're fighting raid bosses and when you're in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. But with this guy, I don't. He's just totally huge damage guy, good for clearing out normal guys, but I don't know how he's going to be in that Ultimate Vault Hunter mode metagame against raid bosses. So that's pretty much my main feelings about this guy. If you enjoy Borderlands and you're not sick of the campaign, buy this guy. Totally fun character, really different than the other characters. Like, I'm glad they did that. It's a really unique character. But again, not sure how this is going to be in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And if you're kind of a little bit sick of the campaign, which I am, maybe hold off a little bit to buy this character. Especially if you hold off until the new DLC comes out, so then you could be playing this character with fresh DLC. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a good day.